pretty much what we're doing here is just testing your morals, and it's not looking good for you. It's not looking that great. All right, so that was the moral quick fire round, and then we're gonna go to the closing round, which are our normal questions that we ask people on the streets, and we'll just see how slutty you are. Okay.
Oh no!
All right.
No.
So
okay,
you're
stop watching now, Mom.
No,
if you're
no.
watching.
Mom, watch. Dad, Mom. Listen.
Leave them out of this. Leave my parents out of this, you freak.
Parents. Everyone's parents. Listen.
Everyone's parents.
You and your ex are stuck in a room together for 24 hours, right?
Okay.
What's gonna happen?
I'm gonna call them out for being a narcissist.
Ooh. And you think that's gonna go well? Has anyone ever been in a fight with a narcissist before?
Oh yeah, no. That's the thing. You can't tell narcissists they're narcissists.
You can't tell them.
I just have to like play coy, like ignore them.
It's so great to be here with you.
Oh my god.
I can't wait to get out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I would hope something happens.
You look like you might be a violent kind of person. You're like that.
No, I'm not.
What's a question that you should never ask on a first date?
I think getting like super political on a first date is kind of a weird move.
Yeah, so what's the question?
Yeah. Where do you lean politically? And yeah, I don't know. Not where you lean is a fine question, but like if you're like, who did you vote for? What policies do you like? I feel like those are important questions, but on a first date, it's a lot.
Top, bottom, verse, left, right. How do you feel about feet?
They're fine.
Yeah, and there's no arousal for you?
No, I get where it comes from. I mean, I do like seeing people vulnerable.
Is that what it is? Is it vulnerable?
That's the only way that I could come to it. Like the only time I'm like maybe like into the idea of it, if it's like if some guy like never showed his feet and like sent me a picture of his feet, but like he was like, I never show anyone this, I might be like, oh, that's kind of, I'm into that, like.
I don't know.
I don't know. They don't really do much for me, but you sometimes see like the like zoomed in photo of the foot, and
something
it's
for
like,
a foot fetish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay,
it's much more than that.
I get it. Like it has to be I think I have to see the guy in the photo though.
I don't usually do this, but I don't send these to anyone. Like it's like sends the blurry screen. Like it's feet.
Yeah, no, but
you're like, I appreciate that. Like, I don't have a foot fetish, but like, thank you for,
I don't. If anyone wants to buy my feet pics, I will sell them. Like,
I mean, do you have good feet though?
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, I don't believe that shit.
Stop trying to get me to show you my feet on your podcast.
They're fine. I'm like, who says that? Like, yeah, they're amazing. They're beautiful. Yeah,
they are worth millions.
They're good. Like they're all right. I'll probably keep my socks on though. Like, okay. What's something that every gay guy should have in their dating profile?
I think you should list your hobbies, like your hobby. I think I need to know that for me. It's like if it's just a generic profile of like very safe things to like, of like, oh, I enjoy hanging out with friends and going to restaurants and I like dogs and traveling. It's like these are just all things. Dogs is at least a little more unique, but it's like. Yeah, everyone loves those things.
Yeah.
Like, who's like, I hate traveling? No one, So it's like, I want to know, like, what's something really unique? Like, what are we going to talk about, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I really love when someone puts hobbies on there because then that gives me an in to be like, oh my God, that's really cool. Like,
you're like, that's fucking weird. Some weird ass shit you're into, dude. You need to be upfront with me about how weird you are. Like, you collect bugs, bro? Like, what, like you want to go bird watching? Yeah, fuck that. No, I don't know. That might be okay. Yeah, it's kind of
That's pretty weird, bro.
It's pretty fucking weird.
That's your first Tinder message?
Yeah, you're weird. You know what I really hate that like gets me on this is like you ask somebody like because they don't have their hobbies on there or maybe like their sexual preference and you're like, well, what are you into or like what are your hobbies and you like take time to create that response and then you're like, what about you? And they're like, same. Same. I want to throw my fucking phone. Like you don't have to throw my same. Do you know like what I did? What I just wrote right here? Do you think I just copy paste that? I should probably, but I'm like, I'm going. This beautiful
Well, it's also
response
like,
for you.
It's like, let's dig into that. Like, especially if you have like, like very specific things. It's like, oh, I make a podcast. I have this, like, because you do have very specific hobbies now.
Yeah.
So if someone were to just say same, you'd be like, wait, really?
Yeah.
You have a podcast?
Well, I've never. Well, I've been in a relationship for the last year, so But yeah, so this is just a new found fame for me. But no, usually it's like I try to find things that are comparable. But I get it. I'm like, oh, cool, I can appreciate those. But I'm like, add in some things that you do. I'm like, oh, I go kayaking, I like hiking, and I do this or whatever. I love movies and comedy. And they're like, same. I'm like, okay, cool. So you have nothing special about you. You do not compliment me at all. I'm like, oh, like they're like, oh, we're just gonna be besties at that point. No, like you're fucking like nothing. You know, like you're not even special. I'm looking for something that's like, I do cool shit.
Same is such a lazy response.
Yeah, especially like. I mean, I guess the sexual one is a little bit more acceptable, but like hobbies, like these are like very in particular. But sexual, like yeah, like oh, I'm versed, like blah blah blah, like do this, and they're like, oh yeah, cool, same, we align. I'm like, or do we align though? Because like, do we? I'm like, bitch, like you're like, oh cool, I'm versed too, but I'm willing to do this or blah blah blah. Like I'm nothing. I'm like, you know what, forget this effort. This is a waste. It's a waste of an app. What's your favorite dating app or favorite app?
I've been trying Hinge lately because like I feel like I've heard a lot of success stories of like couples I really like appreciate. I'm like, oh, it seems like you guys found something awesome, and like I've heard a lot of people say they met on Hinge. So
really,
yeah, I've been using a lot of Hinge.
Have you met anyone from Hinge though?
I went on a date, but I think we're gonna be friends.
Oh,
sorry, spoiler alert for my Hinge date is watching this.
Don't. It takes time to edit, so hopefully you haven't like let him on that long.
No.
You know, so when this comes out, you guys should be best friends.
Okay,
you know, by that point. Just in case it gets confused, though, you should probably tell us his name. No, I was kidding.
Oh my god, you want these names? You want this drama? Okay, so here's the thing. I think it goes like you have of like the swiping ones. You have Tinder is like the hottest guys, but like not necessarily the most romantically inclined.
Yeah, looking for Instagram followers.
And then you have those two. And then you have like Hinge, which is like they're not as hot, but they're like a lot more serious, and there's like a spectrum there. And then of course on the other side of Tinder, you have Grindr, which is like not really a great place to look for a relationship. So I think I like Tinder for that happy medium.
Yeah. I feel like Tinder's where like straight people go to fall in love, which is funny. I'm sorry, where gay people go to fall in love and straight people use this Grindr, so I think that's funny.
Yeah.
But what's in your bedside table?
Kind of my junk drawer. Yeah. And so I have like a sleeping mask and I have masking tape. Or just like tape, and I have other stuff in there, right? Uh-huh. And so one time I was with a guy and...
You're gonna paint something?
What?
Masking tape? Okay.
Not masking tape, electrical tape.
Worse.
I was like, hey, I want to get a condom, and I got one, and I was joking. I was like, oh yeah, this is like my sex drawer. And he's like, just because I have like condoms and lube in there, right? And he's like,
right.
Oh, and I see like the tape in the mask. Do you like use that on people? And I was like, I can if you want me to. Yeah. And he was like, okay, fine. Like,
okay, fine. You sold me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's cute. Well, that's funny. That's funny. But I mean, I don't know anybody else that keeps electrical tape in their drawer, but I could see all that.
Wow, is that you're really stuck on that?
I am. You're like, oh, like, I could see like his thought process too. He's probably like, yeah, he probably does this all the time. Like, you need to get on board, you know. What's your fantasy punishment?
I once had a dream that I like was staying at these gay friends' house, and I came out of the shower, and they're like, dude, we had a camera in there the whole time. We filmed you on that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I woke up aroused.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, that was such a huge invasion of privacy, hypothetically.
Right.
And I was like, aroused.
Right.
So I guess something like that. Like,
that's not punishment, though.
Oh, but maybe they were getting back.
Did it turn into like a frat X scene after that?
Well, maybe I think they were getting back at me. Maybe I did something and like, oh, we got you back. We punished you by getting this inconsensual tape of you.
Your browser history is a fraternity X. What's a big red flag about a guy that's like super hot to you?
Oh man, if you struggle to like accept people in your life, I can fix you.
How's that worked out for you?
Oh, terrible! I end up like pursuing these emotionally unavailable guys. I'm like, why won't they love me back? It's like they don't love anyone.
Yeah, exactly. What have we learned? Nothing. Like, maybe if I try again on like another guy, like it will be different. I'm sure. I'm telling you, as I'm telling my friends, he's different, guys. He's different. I promise you. No. They're like, no, he has all these problems. Like, no. This one is different.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
Girl, you gotta get help. Yeah. You gotta get better help. And you can get 30-minute sessions for full
No, stop. Hard cut to ad.
cut to ad, yeah. And you can get help too by using code SLAY. How do you let a guy know that it's time to go home? Like, say, like he's come over to your place, you're hosting, you know, because you got the condom door, you know, and you're like, and he's just like lingering. Like, how do you be like, yo, dude, this guy to go?
Yeah, I'm pretty direct.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll probably just be like, hey, I really have to wake up early tomorrow.
Really?
Like, if I do, right? Like,
that's cute.
Wait, what do you say?
Real talk, I have never answered this on camera, but like, I don't know. Like, I get nervous because I'm like that, you know, like you're worried about someone saying no issue.
Yeah. Like,
that's me. I'm like, officer being mean. I'm like, you're in the way. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, they're like, oh, am I a problem? Like, no.
Oh my God.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. I don't need to sleep. You know, I don't get out of my way. So yeah, I just go to someone else's place for that type. You know?
Go to someone else's place.
I like to be in control. Like, my home is like my safety net. It's like my place, you know.
Oh, interesting.
What if we're at the club? How would you tell a guy that you're into him? Like,
I really love going up to a guy and just being like, hey, you're really cute.
Yeah.
Like, number one pickup line. Like, that's pretty much always how I'll open.
That's so hot. I'm not even kidding. It's so hot because nobody does that.
Yeah, it's just very direct.
Yeah, like, I saw you from across the room, and like, I just want to let you know. Something that I did, like, when I moved here, like, to make friends, not necessarily pick up guys, was to look lost.
Really?
Yeah. I would like not be on my phone. I'd like look around and be like, you know, like, oh no. And then people were like, oh, like, what's going on? You're like, I'm like, can you help me find? Well, I think my friends are here. Oh, actually, they're not here yet. And they're like, oh, you can hang out with us.
Oh, I like that. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm like, is this the front? Is this bar bigger? Like, is there a back part or something? I don't know. My friends say they're here. Is like, and they're like, oh, that's a different bar. I'm like, oh, okay, they're on the way. I was like, yeah, okay, well, thank you for your help or whatever. And like, they're like, oh, you're so sweet. Like, you hang out with us. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you really like you really like to be approached.
Yeah,
you like people approaching. Yeah,
yeah, but it's you're right. Yeah, I do prefer to be approached, but I will approach people, you know, because I can tell. But I do like eye contact, and then I'll like go for the take. I'm like, hey, I saw you looking at me.
Yeah, eye contact is actually really important. Like, it's also a really good way to kind of people will passively kind of signal their boundaries that way.
You can feel it.
And so, like, if someone's not making eye contact with me, if they're like avoiding eye contact with me, it's like, all right, this isn't going anywhere. Like, like, clearly they want space. Like, eye contact is a very useful thing to pay attention to. Have you read any of that pickup artist stuff? It's so cringe. It's so bad. But
which one? Give me a line.
Well, this is like what they tell straight men. It's like, oh, I need advice that only a straight girl could answer, and that's how you like get your foot in the door to then talk to them and to try and sleep with them. It's very sleazy and very weird. All that being said, one piece of advice I did like from it is like approach them within, I think it was like 90 seconds of seeing them, and that's something I've tried to incorporate. Of like, now if I see someone and I want to talk to them, because it's very easy to like kind of like linger and be weird and like second guess yourself, and I think that just ends up. That doesn't help anyone. It makes you look weird. It's like, you know, so I'll just, and maybe they'll leave. So it's like, I try and like kind of push myself to like, all right, talk to them now. Like, best time to go for it is as soon as possible.